Hello everybody, I am Jace Loves, but today we are going to be talking about The Shining, the movie where extremely long talk scenes happen for absolutely no reason. Directed by Stanley Kubrick and written by the man, the myth, the legend, Stephen King. The Shining is an absolute masterpiece, so let's get into it. The movie opens up with a driving scene that lasts 3 minutes. We are greeted by our protagonist, Jack, walking into a hotel. We find out he is here for a job interview for the caretaker of the hotel. As soon as he sits down, we fade out and greet Wendy and Danny. Danny the son of Jack and Wendy the wife of Jack. We find out that Danny talks with a finger for some reason, and it cuts back to the job interview. Yeah! A guy comes into the room named Jack Torrance. He will be very important for later scenes. Right? No, he does absolutely nothing. But we find out that the winter caretaker last year, Delbert Grady, killed his entire family with an axe.
Hired a man named Charles Grady as the winter caretaker. And he came up here with his wife and 2 little girls, I think about 8 and 10. And he had a good employment record, good references. And from what I've been told, he seemed like a completely normal individual. But at some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. He ran amok and he killed his family with an axe.
Jack does not seem at all surprised by this fact. In fact, Jack says that it won't be him.
You can rest assured, Mr. Ullman, that's not going to happen with me.
He ends up getting the job and he calls his wife. Danny, on the other hand, is talking to Tony, which is the voice in his mouth. Yes, you heard me right. Tony, the voice in his mouth. But Tony can see the future, so he tells Danny that he doesn't want to go to the hotel.
Tony, why don't you want to go to the hotel? I don't know. You do too know. Now come on, tell me. Don't want to.
He imagines blood coming down the hallway and he starts hyperventilating. Don't mind the terrible quality for this scene, but he goes to therapy and we find out Jack had broken Danny's hand before. We see them driving back to the hotel and now we get a tour of the hotel. But before we can see anything, we see Danny playing darts. And now we see the twins. The twins are dead, but since Danny has apparently superpowers, he can see them. However, the twins do nothing. So now we actually get a tour for the hotel. We find a hedge maze that will not have any important part later at all.
Foreshadowing is a narrative.
We meet the cook and we find out that he has the Shining also. Title mention! Oh, did I not mention that Danny also has the Shining? The cook tells Danny not to go into room 237 because we all love a room that we're not supposed to go into. But he won't, right? But not everybody is left except Wendy, Danny, and Jack, and this is where stuff goes down. Okay, not yet, but now we can slowly see how Jack goes slowly insane. He keeps throwing the ball onto the wall and back. He looks over the maze and it cuts to the real thing. This is actually terrifying. See, Danny and Wendy come back from the maze, and now Danny is riding his bag through the hallway. He sees room 237 and tries to open it, however the door is locked. Now we see Jack typing on his new book. Wendy tries to talk to Jack, but Jack can't get distracted on his book. And since he can't get focused, he rips the pages for no reason. Wendy tries to make a call to see if the power lines are down, which they are, so now they have no way to call anyone anyway. Now Danny is on his bike, or whatever this is, and he is greeted by the twins again.
Hello, Danny. Come and play with us. Come and play with us, Danny. Forever and ever and ever.
Now we see Danny entering what seems to be their room. But now we see Jack on the bed. Danny comes over to Jack and says if he would ever hurt him. Jack says no, but we can all see how he's slowly going insane. But now we have Danny in this iconic mug of the movie. Wait, 3 Danny scenes in a row? No record! Danny is playing with trains, and when a ball rolls over, he stands up to try and see who threw the ball. He walks around and sees a certain room 237, which happens to be the room that no one should ever visit. But we'll check back on that later. Now we have the turning point of the movie. This is where stuff gets right! Jack is having a nightmare, so Wendy tries to calm him down. We find out that the nightmare Jack is having was that he killed his entire family, not just killed them, but chopped them into pieces. However, what he was probably scared of was having to do another take. I mean, if you looked into the history of this movie, you can see how Kubrick literally took thousands of takes. It looks like he has slowly gotten better. Not that much, but not killing your entire family insane. Well, I mean, he did have a nightmare of that, but still. Danny has to walk in, and Wendy sees a bruise on his neck. Wendy blames it on Jack, and Jack looks totally confused. What do I mean by the turning point, though? Well, now he is in the bar, and well, now I kind of forgot to mention, but earlier, when they were getting a tour, the owner kind of says that there was no alcohol over the winter.
Boy, I bet you we could really have a good party in this room, huh, hon?
I'm afraid you're not going to do too well here unless you brought your own supplies. We always remove all the booze from the premises when we shut down. That reduces the insurance we normally have to carry.
And keep in mind that he is imagining all this. The bartender, Lloyd, not real. The huge pile of alcohol, not real. Well, he gets a drink, and it's on the house. Jack says, and I quote, "I love you, Lloyd. I've always loved you." Except for the fact that they have never met. In fact, Lloyd doesn't exist. Jack starts trash-talking his wife behind her back. And right as he is doing that, Wendy bursts into the door and says that someone else is in the hotel. So now, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you obviously know what I'm talking about. But now we're just not going to talk about the scene that happens next. So let's skip forward to Dick's vision. Okay, I forgot to say that the name of the cook is Dick. So let's cut to that. Dick sees a new report on how the snow is insane. I mean, railroad tracks are frozen. And let's not talk about what's on his wall. As Dick is watching, he gets a sense that the hotel might not be doing that well. Also, Danny uses shining ability to tell him that. So Dick tries calling the Forest Service to see if the hotel is alright. They say that the lines are down, but they would try to call the hotel. So now, we are here, at 8 a.m., and Danny is having a vision, a very short one, that only shows the famous red room door. However, Wendy tries to say to Jack to leave the hotel, but Jack is not happy. So he starts yelling at Wendy that his work is way too important. Yes, his book is the entire word. Back to the bar. However, there's way more people, all in his imagination, by the way. But he gets a drink, also paid for him, but as soon as he stands up, a bartender knocks into him and offers to clean him up in the bathroom. So when they're in the bathroom, Jack makes the fatal mistake of asking who he is. Well, his name is Delbert Grady. Familiar? Well, maybe because in the job interview, that was the guy who killed his entire family for that. So Jack knows this and questions Grady. Well, Grady doesn't like him, so he calls Jack a nigger. Just kidding. Well, I don't even know why he said that in the first place, but Grady says all that his family needs is some correcting. And by correcting, he means killing his entire family. So now we are back to Dick. He's trying to make a call to a guy named Duncan to get him a snow cap. Keep in mind this scene because it will appear later. Now, here will be one of the most iconic scenes in the movie. Wendy has a bat and she's looking for Jack. She can't find him, but what she does find is Jack's book. Yes, his very important book. She finds out that every single page, and I'm talking every single page, just has the words, "all work and no play," which makes Jack a dull boy. Also, the music in the scene is way more intense than it needs to be. I mean, hear this. Now, first time seeing the scene, I thought Jack was about to pop out and kill Wendy or something, but all he does is come behind and say the famous line.
How do you like it?
The scene is too good not to show you guys.
Why?
I just want to go back to my room.
Why?
I'm very confused. I just need a chance to think things over. Don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Stay away from me.
Wendy.
Stay away.
Darling, light of my life. I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in.
Stay away from me. Don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Stay away from me. Stay away. Please.
Stop swinging the bat.
Stay away from me.
Give me the bat. Give me the bat. Ah, God damn!
I guess she doesn't get sad because then she drags Jack to a pantry and locks him in there. Well, Jack starts waking up and he's clearly awake right here, but as soon as she locks him in, he wakes up. What the fuck did I even say? Well, Jack starts waking up. Well, as soon as she locks him in, he wakes up. We're just going to skip the part where he has a full broken leg, however he landed on his head. Also, he fell a full staircase, and now he only has a small cut on his leg. But still. Anyways, Jack starts gaslighting Wendy into letting him out.
Let me out of here and I'll forget the whole goddamn thing. It'll be just like nothing ever happened.
Wendy, baby, I think you hurt my head real bad. I'm dizzy. I need a doctor.
Going from Wendy kill yourself to I think I'm hurt in about 3 seconds is crazy. But Wendy doesn't fall for it, and now she leaves. Now Jack is stuck in this pantry. This is gonna be a problem, right? Nope. In fact, it'll be super easy. Barely an inconvenience, if you know you know. A guy knocks on the door. Who is it? Delbert Grady, of course. Did you think it was going to be anybody else? Did you think it was going to be Wendy? He says that he's not proud of Jack and that his wife is stronger than him. Grady says that his family needs some correcting. If you don't get it, Grady is telling Jack to kill his entire family. Well, to do that, Grady has to open the door. Now, Kubrick, I'm sorry, but what is the logic? Remember, Grady is dead, but Jack doesn't have the ability to see dead people, so he is imagining all of Grady. But Grady opens the door, and Jack gets out. Well, anyways, now we are at probably the second most iconic scene in the show. Maybe the most. Tony, starts saying red rum. He grabs a knife, and he kills his entire family. But what he does do is write red rum on the wall. He keeps saying red rum until his mom wakes up. She is terrified, but not as much as she is about to be. She looks in the mirror and realizes that red rum isn't some random word. It spells murder backwards. Well, now Jack starts hitting the door with a hammer, so Wendy and Danny go into her bathroom. So Wendy opens the door and throws Danny out of the bathroom into the snow and kills him instantly. But Wendy tries to go too, but she cannot fit. So now, the moment that we've all been waiting for, Jack goes through the bathroom door.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny!
Jack is about to enter the room and kill Wendy. But remember Dick and his snowcap? Well, Jack, as soon as he's about to kill Wendy, he hears the snowcap, and for some reason goes to where that noise is, not killing Wendy and then going to see what the noise is from. I mean, obviously. Dick enters the hotel screaming, "Is anybody there?" And then out of nowhere, Jack comes up and kills him. Yes, a perfect 30 seconds into the house before he gets brutally murdered, it probably the most gory part of the entire movie. Well, Wendy's trying to escape, but before she can, she sees the blood from the elevator from before. And she honestly makes the most scariest expression in the entire movie. She goes upstairs and oh my god! You're seeing Danny running away from Jack, but Jack sees him, so Jack starts chasing him. But remember something. Remember when Wendy and Danny were in the maze earlier? Well, Danny has the maze memorized, but Jack has never been in it. So you would think Danny is going to escape easily. Well, this might be an inconvenience, because snow leaves footsteps. So Jack is able to follow him, but before it's too late, Danny notices that he can make fake footsteps to lure Jack into a different path. So Danny goes to a different path. Also, this entire time, by the way, that they've been in the maze, which is a solid 5 minutes already, Jack has been holding his chest and yelling, "Danny!" So Danny escapes, but Jack does not. So he slowly passes away and dies. Now we see the end screen now. I have no idea what this means. It's literally just a picture of Jack zooming in. But if you do know, leave a comment. I mean, I'm not even joking. Just please tell me what it is. But anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. I'm Jay Slubs. Go sub to Shred Comment. If you want to see more of me, just let me know in the comments. Anyways, I had a really fun time making this video. So, bye.